Most of you aren't subscribed. Make sure to boot the subscribe button, as it helps out the channel. Without further ado, having read Bachira's ego, Isagi intercepts his goal, officially surpassing Rin, as Rin could have never anticipated Bachira's growth. As the ball randomly flies into the air, it unfortunately lands in front of Rin, who strikes the ball, winning the game. Seeing Isagi defeated, Bachira states that he no longer needs Isagi, and that he can finally fight alone. Just then Rin silences everyone, as he states that he'll be the one to pick their new member. Knowing that Isagi was able to outwit him, Rin states that Isagi will join their team, so Rin can devour him. Slumped, Isagi thinks about the reason for his loss, blaming his luck, as no one could have predicted where the ball would land after he blocked Bachira's goal. Reluctantly following Rin's team, Isagi attempts to comfort his team, but they all promise to catch up to Isagi, and that there are no hard feelings. Greeting the Ryu and Tokimitsu, Isagi is glad to hear that the two are happy to have Isagi on board, as they were impressed by his plays. Chatting with Bachira, Isagi notices Bachira has changed, as he's now more confident in himself, able to play alone and not rely on others. Turning to Rin, Isagi demands to know why he had lost, which Rin states that it was luck and nothing more. Interrupted by Ego, Ego congratulates the five for completing the test, and rewards them by answering Isagi's question about luck. Using the analogy of being pooped on by birds, Ego states that at first it may seem coincidental and inevitable, but he asks what if a person never went towards the birds. Applying this to their recent game, we see Rin had actually rushed towards Isagi, whilst everyone stood by and watched Bachira take the shot. It was because of that decision that Rin was able to capitalize on the lucky rebound. If Rin had not chased after Isagi, overall it was because of Rin's split decision-making and game sense which allowed him to capitalize on his luck. Now knowing that Rin still is more experienced than him, Isagi is reignited, as he adds luck to his game plan. Having successfully completed their second round, Ego announces a third round, where they'll be pitted up against the world's 5 best players, tomorrow. The 5 best are Leonardo Luna from Spain, Adam Blake from England, Pablo Cabassos from Argentina, Dada Silva from Brazil and Julian Loki from France. Later that day, we see Rin stretching to cool down, but he notices Isagi joining in, claiming that he will catch up to Rin. Following his stretches, Isagi asks about Rin's relationship with his brother, which Rin states that it's an awkward relationship until he defeats him. Attempting to mimic Rin's crazy stances, Isagi falls over, which ends his time with Rin. As the day arrives, we see the 5 superstars speaking English. As Dada mocks Isagi and his members, Rin steps in, showing off his English. Before Rin and Dada get into a fight, Leonardo steps in, breaking them up. Kicking off, Bachira shows off his newly developed ego, passing Pablo, who seems to not even be trying. When Isagi calls for the ball, Bachira declines, refusing to assist boring plays. Wanting to match up with Bachira, we see Loki dart in front of Isagi, which give Bachira the chance to kick the ball past the two, where Rin is lying in wait, only to score. Having devoured Bachira and Isagi's chemical reaction, Rin is able to ascend what is normally possible, now that Isagi is here. With the world stars kicking off, we see Loki take on Isagi. Knowing that Isagi is exposed, Loki vanishes, having dashed past Isagi. Accelerating further, Loki zips past Bachira, whilst leaving Ryu and Tokimitsu helplessly watching. When Rin attempts to cut Loki off with possession, Rin stands off against Loki, but gets distracted, allowing Leonardo to steal from behind. Passing it to Pablo, Isagi and Bachira are shocked to see Pablo whip the ball past them and into the air. As Ryu leaps up, he's outmatched by Dada, who knocks it in Tokimitsu's direction. Seeing an opportunity, Tokimitsu is manhandled, as Adam runs him over, scoring. As Isagi's members are clearly outmatched, they are all helpless to watch the world stars score, with everyone giving in, but Rin. Happy to see Rin's resolve, Leonardo personally shows off their disparity, nutmegging Rin and ending the match. Cutting to Ego, we see sponsors to the BlueLock project, unsatisfied with his results, but Ego claims that it's about time he shows off BlueLock's specimens. Back at their dorm, The team talks about the gap between them and the world's best, but even though they have lost, they still feel they can catch up. Isagi personally thinks about Rin's potential, wanting to chase after and defeat Rin for himself. Passing time, the gang attempt to improve their English skills, turning to Rin, who becomes annoyed, having to tutor his hopeless teammates. Just then, the second selection has concluded, and Ego asks for the 35 remaining participants to head to the designated area. Knowing that the people that survived are just as strong as them, Isagi grows nervous, as his team is announced as the first team to have passed the second selection. Up next, Isagi is happy to see Nagi, Barou and Chigiri pass, having finished second. As the next 4 teams are announced, Isagi is happy to see some familiar faces, but is still waiting to see Ryo and Kunigami. As the final team reveal themselves, Ryo is among them but Kunigami is. Questioning Ryo on Kunigami's disappearance, Isagi refuses to believe that Kunigami was easily defeated. But Shido Ryusei, the man that eliminated him, states that picking a fight with Isagi, Shido is interrupted, as Ego asks for everyone's attention. Stating that they all had a chance to face the world stars, their next goal is to face Japan's under-20 team, in order to show off BlueLock's growth. If they manage, they'll become representatives for Japan. Additionally, Itachi Sei, Rin's older brother, will be playing against them. The season ends, as Kunigami painfully walks down the loser's hallway, all whilst the remaining 35 players set their goals on becoming Japan's representatives. Thanks for watching, subscribe, like,